Sitcom dads are not who they used to be. Dynamics, attitudes, even the jokes themselves are changing. New sitcoms are following the rhythms of modern times, adjusting to a new set of audiences and rules. So what are these changes? And are they quietly killing comedy or just operating with different standards? Al Bundy is defined by his cynicism, his desire to be left alone, and his disappointment with his life. Most notably, his distaste stems from his wife, children, and his failed career. These are the foundation for most of the jokes. A man who speaks as though he dreams beyond the American one, but doesn't have the skills or financial means to pursue it. While his wife is busy being a lazy housewife, Al humorously regrets his family life. But alas, he has a family to take care of, so he oscillates between family and work. He works hard to support his often unappreciated family and loves them all, despite refusing to ever utter those words. Al Bundy's role as a father and husband is confined between walls of thin writing. Revolutionary for its time, but outdated through a modern lens. His marriage lacks intimacy. He refuses to touch or compliment his wife unless absolutely necessary. Any effort to fix the house emphasizes his uselessness. Always out of money, always out of energy, he's never seen spending quality time with his children, nor exchanging a heartfelt moment. They're always starving, neglected, lacking guidance and authority. The show refuses to provide any kind of nuance to these relationships. As a result, Al Bundy is a stale sitcom dad, a strong and snarky persona, a competent provider, but a less than desirable husband. The show as a whole questions the role and necessity of a nuclear family in the roaring 80s and early 90s. It is not just women realizing they don't need to be housewives anymore. It is also men realizing they don't need to be fathers and husbands. Life is suddenly dimensional. Drowning in the mediocre waters of a family life isn't that desirable anymore. Getting married too early, unexpected pregnancies, careers left behind. Parents were more aware than ever that life could be so much more. In a way, they were trying to teach that lesson to their own children. It was becoming acceptable to openly discuss these things and joke about them. The jokes reflect the attitudes and conversations around a nuclear family at the time, which is exactly why this comedic style often falls under boomer humor. It popularized imperfect, immoral, and quirky parents. Family members bonded over accepting each other's idiosyncrasies. Raymond is a devoted father and husband. Similarly to Al, he works hard to be a provider. He is famously unaffectionate and immune to romantic gestures and household chores. So what makes him different? Deborah, for starters. She acts as a constant reminder of Ray's weaknesses, which she does not submissively accept. She makes sure to scold him for his lack of help, his man-child behavior, his lack of attention towards her, and his aloofness to socializing. Through Deborah, these behaviors are not only pointed out, but challenged. Ray is showing signs of improvement, and on top of that, he makes an effort to spend time with his children. He's cautious about their influences, and although hesitant, he does have some awkward but necessary conversations with them. In his process of becoming a better father, Ray is actively trying to improve his relationship with his own father. These moments are organic and feel relatable. Parents are not only accepting their own unhappiness and imperfections and simply joke about them, now they're reflecting upon them. In one episode in particular, Deborah was frustrated by the amount of praise Ray receives from other women because he simply took his children to the park. Nowadays, we label this as bare minimum. It is obvious to us now, but in the 90s and early 2000s, it is precisely when gender roles and expectations were starting to turn around within the nuclear family. And so with Everybody Loves Raymond, signs of more conscious parenting appear in the sitcom horizon. It signifies a pivotal moment in family dynamics on and off screen. Husbands' incompetencies are now in the spotlight. Women play a more active role in challenging them. With one foot still flirting with old-fashioned norms, and the other entertaining some healthier practices, the show marked a shift. Whether for the sake of comedy, or whether it was just a product of its era, Ray marked a shift but couldn't yet make a full leap. So who are the dads that have made a full leap, and what's the common denominator? Examples of them flood the screen. They spend quality time with their children while sharing moments of honesty and vulnerability. They are unafraid to be goofy or serious or apologetic when necessary. They're not just stats, they're human beings with passions, insecurities, and a backstory. Their contribution to the family is not just financial. They provide moral and emotional support. They all love their wives and children deeply, and they aren't afraid to express it in their own ways. And through their wives, each with her own strengths, they are constantly challenged. Imbalances, injustices, stereotypes, they still exist within families. The shows acknowledge and explore them. The writing is also crucial. The jokes rely less on characters' quirks and repeated sentiments, i.e., I hate my wife jokes, and are more reliant on awkward situations. They allow characters to engage with each other fruitfully. It gives them justice. They have space to improve relationships, learn something new, and contemplate on themselves as people, and by extension, fathers. This prevents flanderization and flat characters, which dominated sitcoms of the past. The writing isn't the only thing that's evolved. Sitcoms today drop the laughing track and multicam setup in favor of more elaborate and cinematic ones. Lastly, another noticeable change is that more episodes take place outside the default studio home, providing scope for fun and development. J. Pritchett is a unique case study, as it borrows Al Bundy's character but develops it further. Jay carries the facade of a traditional patriarch, a successful provider, emotionally enclosed, unaffectionate, and old-fashioned. Modern Family gave what Married with Children couldn't offer Al, a space to grow. Throughout the show, we observe Jay take a second chance at parenting. With money, his grown-up children, and later on his third biological kid. It is apparent that similarly to Frank Barone, their toughness stems from difficult relationships with their own fathers as well as a result of being war veterans. Over the course of the show, he becomes more vulnerable and open to his family and friends. He becomes accepting of his son's homosexuality, but not overnight. It's a journey. Modern Family is proof that the curse of static characters can be broken, as long as it is done organically. Jay never loses what makes him iconic. His grumpiness, his sarcasm are part of the charm. He earns the audience's respect through his efforts to show love to the people around him, while staying true to himself. Modern sitcom dads seem to have mellowed down on slightly problematic tendencies, whether it is being unaffectionate, incompetent, or hating their wives. At the very least, they showcase intent to improve. Whichever the case, they remain flawed. They'll always be. It's what makes them relatable. Only now they're not purely seen as financial providers. Their emotional contribution and self-reflection is part of their journey. There's still room in current sitcoms for imperfect parents, masculinity, and dark humor. Progress doesn't halt comedy, nor should it ignore reality. If done well, it explores and questions the tendencies of the times. Sitcoms today utilize every tool they have to illuminate what it means to be a good dad in modern day. The evolution of sitcom dads is not just a hopeful reflection on better parenting practices, but also a sign of more holistic sitcoms.